I'm Jenna Ryan. This is the Intern Hustle's YouTube channel, and I show up here every Monday to help college students flex their initiative muscle and take control of their future. Today, I'm doing something a little different. I'm not giving away resume tips or teaching you how to create your elevator pitch. Today, I'm going to walk you through my life plan. The blog post that I wrote about my life plan is by far the most popular content I've put out to date. It was even featured on Thrive Global, and Ariana Huffington herself shared it with her LinkedIn network. So I thought, why not create a video about it and just get even more vulnerable with you?
Hey there, I'm Jenna Ryan from the InternHustle.com, and this is Initiative Muscle Monday, helping you to start each week with an intentional step toward a successful future. Let's do this.
You may have noticed that I'm in a different location today. I'm not filming from my typical setup in San Francisco. That's because I'm currently sitting in an Airbnb in Columbus, Ohio. This past weekend, I attended the Summit of Greatness. It's an annual event put on by entrepreneur Lewis Howes. If you haven't listened to his podcast, The School of Greatness, I encourage you to check it out after this video. I will link to it in the description below. And if you are already a listener of the School of Greatness podcast, type greatness in the comments below. This is my second year attending Summit, and I was so excited to go back. Last year, I met some lifelong friends, and I even met my boyfriend. And this year, we were all back there together, and I brought my parents along so that they could experience the energy of this event. And there was definitely a lot of energy this year. Speakers included Shaun T, yes, the dancing 8-pack of a man from the Insanity workout videos, Lindsey Sterling, the pop violinist who dances and plays violin across the stage like a magical fairy, and Eric Thomas, aka E.T., the hip-hop preacher. And that's just to name a few. Again, this was my second year attending Summit, and it did not disappoint. But what was it that made me sign up for Summit of Greatness last year and attend it by myself? Well, it all goes back to my life plan. I know you're probably thinking, what the heck is a life plan? Yeah, I get it. I would be asking the same thing if I were in your shoes. I used to be a person who had no idea what a life plan was, and frankly, I had too much going on to think that I should be wasting my time creating one. But then life happened to me, and it kind of slaps me in the face. Because you see, that's what happens when you don't have a plan. Life happens to you. And no, I'm not saying that we're in control of everything that will happen to us, but we are in control of how we react to the things that happen to us, how we bounce back, how we charge ahead, and ultimately how we get back on track. That's where a life plan comes into play. It keeps you focused and it keeps you from drifting throughout life. So rewind to about 18 months ago, spring of 2017. I had just gone through a bad breakup. I was frustrated and suffering from extreme burnout with work, and I was just in a straight up funk. I was drifting, and it took all of these obstacles getting to an extreme state for me to wake up from my drift. I was forced to reevaluate what I was doing with my life. What was my bigger picture? And that's when I realized I didn't know what my bigger picture was. All along, I thought I was doing the right things. I'm an achiever, and professionally speaking, I was achieving. I was reaching new milestone after new milestone and climbing that professional ladder. And it wasn't until I drifted through all of those achievement milestones, all the way to age 30, that I realized I had been overachieving in one area of my life, career, and not paying any attention to the other areas of my life, relationships, self-care, personal development. I had completely lost focus of the bigger picture. I was navigating life from the wrong altitude, and it was limiting my ability to live my most fulfilling life. Perspective was off, I was out of whack, and I hit some emotional lows. And that's when I picked up a book that my parents got me a few years back. It had been sitting on my bookshelf collecting dust, but something drew me to it. The book is Living Forward by Michael Hyatt and Daniel Harkavy. And in the book, they teach you the benefits of and how to create a life plan. Now, I don't have the book with me since I'm on the road, but I will post an image somewhere on this screen, and I'll link to it in the description below. Now, it was at this same time that I started listening to more podcasts, one of which, The School of Greatness with Lewis Howes. Both Living Forward and the School of Greatness podcast really jump-started me, and that's why I'm sharing them with you today. Both of them helped me get back into alignment with my life. Living Forward helped me to design and maintain my life plan, and the School of Greatness podcast presented me with an opportunity to learn from hundreds of virtual mentors, authors, professional athletes, motivational speakers, and entrepreneurs. Now, before I dive into more on both of these and how they help to refocus my future, I want to illustrate why being too hyper-focused on one area, like career, can be detrimental to your future. And believe me, I get the irony in that statement, considering I run a business called The Intern Hustle. But that's exactly why I created the Intern Hustle, to help students act with intention now so that they can take control of their future later. not drift through college and ultimately career, letting life take control of them. Because I don't want you to wake up at 30 like me and wonder what your bigger picture is. I want to share the things that I had to learn the hard way so that hopefully you can avoid some of them and start living out your bigger picture today. So think of it like this. By age 30, I was super successful in one area of my life, career. I was making a very comfortable six-figure income and had been since age 25. I was living in the beautiful city of San Francisco, and I had created a successful program and built a team that I was proud of. But here's the but. The problem is that I lost sight of the forest for the trees. Each professional goal or milestone was a new tree that distracted me from looking across the forest at my bigger picture. And again, that bigger picture involved a lot more than just career. So how can you start to get more intentional now and avoid the drift? Well, let's start with living forward and the life planning exercise within it. What is a life plan? Think about it. People create plans all the time. You wouldn't earn a college degree without a set plan of coursework and credits. You wouldn't think about launching a business without first creating some semblance of a business plan. So why wander through life with no overarching plan? A life plan is exactly what it sounds like. You are charting out a course to guide you to your ideal life. Authors Michael and Daniel call it an app for your life. Now I like to say whether you decide to design it like Google Maps or Waze is up to you. A life plan helps you address your current realities and clarify your priorities. Sounds perfect for a college student seeking purpose and direction with next steps in life. Am I right? In the book Living Forward, there is a step-by-step template laid out for how you can design your life plan. Ultimately, you establish the areas of your life that are important to you, determine their current condition, prioritize them, state your envisioned future for each, and then outline the commitments that will take you from current to future state. The authors encourage you to step outside of your current environment to create this life plan, because by eliminating distractions and giving yourself the space to think, you're going to get a lot more out of the exercise. So I did just that. Last year, after reading the book, I took myself on a life planning retreat. I drove up to the mountains and stayed at a cabin by myself. And I only socialized with the locals at dinner time. Otherwise, I was heads down, determined to create my life plan. And create I did. I ended up typing up a 15-page document in Microsoft Word on that first life planning retreat. And to my surprise, career ranked 8 out of 11 on my list of priorities. Say what?
What?
If you were to ask anyone close to me in my life, they would say that career would be 1 or 2 on my list. But 8? And look, obviously career is still important to me. I mean, I launched my own business just 6 months after creating that life plan. And building a business from the ground up is no small career feat. However, what I learned about myself in doing this life planning exercise is that there are other areas that are more important to me. Areas that deserve more of my attention going forward. And by paying more attention to them, I am building myself up to show up in an even more powerful way in my career going forward. So what was toward the top of my life planning list? Faith, family, relationships, self-care, and most importantly, self-development. The purpose statement that I wrote for my self-development section states, always seek to learn and grow, step outside of my comfort zone, and pursue opportunities that support where I find my joy. And that's what leads me to attending the Summit of Greatness in 2017. One day, I just decided to buy a ticket and attend the event by myself. Now, was that comfortable for me? No. I don't really love walking up to strangers and introducing myself. And if I'm being honest, the energy at events like Summit can be a little overwhelming at first. But at the same time, I knew that I would get value out of the event and that I would grow. I wanted to experience my favorite podcast in real life, learn from the amazing speakers, and really force myself to meet new people. Buying that ticket and taking myself to the event was one of the best decisions I could have ever made. It opened my mind to see new ideas, I made lifelong friends, and as I mentioned earlier, I even met my boyfriend. So as it turns out, I incidentally checked some boxes in other areas of my life plan as well. Amazing things happen when you get intentional and step outside of your comfort zone. So here's my call to action for you. Start today. Start setting intentions for what you want out of your life. And if you're looking for a place to start, buy Living Forward and follow the life plan template within it. I have since gone on to recommend or buy the book for many people in my life, and they all came away with great insights and pursuing new intentions. Again, these are just a couple of the resources that helped stop my drift and give me the jumpstart that I needed 18 months ago. I will link to both the book Living Forward and the School of Greatness podcast in the description below. And as I experience new resources that help me on my own journey, I'll continue to share them with you too. Hopefully something within this video resonated with you today. If it did, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And this is a different type of video than I've created in the past, but if you like it, please give it a thumbs up and I will know to create more like it in the future. This whole YouTube channel is an example of me continuing to push outside of my comfort zone and put out content for an audience that I'm not even sure is watching it. But if I can do this, you can do whatever makes you uncomfortable too. So keep flexing that initiative muscle and taking intentional steps toward a successful future. I will be here cheering you on.